Yeah, I wanted to take some time today, in addition to just settling in with some breathing meditation, to look at mental practices by which we can build harmony in communities, and we can build harmony in communities beginning from the inside, beginning from inside of ourselves, inside of our own mind, and inside of our perceptions of the people that we're interacting with. So why don't we take a little bit of time, I'll try to keep the preliminary meditation a bit brief, and then give some explanation. We'll do a final meditation as usual. So we can begin just by finding a comfortable position. Try to hold our back straight but relaxed, and we imagine that we're in the most comfortable position we can be. And we take a deep breath in and out. And then another breath, just inviting ourselves to relax. And a third breath, just asking ourselves what is important now. And so we imagine that we are in a beautiful, peaceful, inspiring environment. And that we are surrounded by all living beings, but closest to us, we imagine our parents. We imagine the people that we spend the most time with, our partners, co-workers, so forth. But rather than holding our ordinary view of these people, we imagine that they're all happy, peaceful, smiling, and delighted to be engaging in meditation along with us. We can try to feel a sense of warmth and gratitude towards those around us, towards the people we interact with on a daily basis. And as we engage in meditation, just breathing in and out, becoming more relaxed and peaceful internally, we imagine that they also are finding greater and greater inner peace, comfort. There's a natural pull from our distracted mind to run off to many, many, many topics. But we use our intention to hold our attention steady on our breath. Just trying to feel each inhalation and exhalation fully. Each time we notice that our mind is distracted, we consider that to be a victory for our attentiveness. We rejoice in catching our mind distracted and just peacefully bring our attention back to the breath. And then recalling these people we'd imagined around us, we recall a feeling of gratitude and develop a wish to use this brief time we have together to increase our wisdom, our good heart, our skill, our peace of mind, so that we can increase our ability to help and serve those around us. And then with this good motivation, we can open our eyes and rise from our meditation. So there is a piece of advice, a traditional piece of advice on how to train the mind that says, always meditate on special cases, always meditate on special cases. And the meaning of that instruction is that rather than meditating on generic situations, we should meditate on this the specific or special situations that we find ourselves in. And one way to think about that is using meditation to solve our specific problems, right? So if you're just doing a breathing meditation, that doesn't feel like it's specific to any particular problem you're having in your life, unless your main problem is having difficulty breathing. But even a breathing meditation, if we approach it with the intention to solve a particular problem, like a particular interpersonal problem that we have with others, or a particular difficulty, or a particular worry we have, or bad habit, or whatever, then even a breathing meditation can be applied towards a special situation. But the main thrust of this advice is related to all of those forms of meditation that are about changing our mind and changing how we're thinking, deepening beneficial patterns of thought. And arguably the most important goal of meditation is to build harmony in society and in our community. And meditation accomplishes that by building harmony within ourselves, first of all. So think about, first of all, the opposite of that. If our own mind is not at ease and at peace, and something happens, and we see something that's either particularly attractive or interesting, or particularly unpleasant, repulsive, then we will respond to that appearance by chasing after the attractive thing, the interesting thing, whatever it is that we want, or rejecting and fighting against, getting angry at, or getting depressed about whatever it is that we don't like. And so if our own mind is not able to deal with, so every day, like, you know, throughout the days, weeks, months, and so forth, a pretty wide variety of appearances arise. Some of them are pleasant, some of them are unpleasant, some of them are neutral. Some of them are very pleasant or very attractive or alluring, and some of them are very, very unattractive, frightening, unpleasant. And it is as if, from the point of view of our mind, these things are just popping up. So imagine the way your email inbox works. Stuff comes in, and it could be a terrible, terrible news, could be very good news, could be, most of them are kind of neutral. That's just an example. But every one of them is a little bit of a surprise. So our minds are always being hit by these new impressions. So the question is, when we're hit by these new impressions, what does our mind do? Does it become unbalanced, or are we able to absorb them in a peaceful way? So if we encounter unpleasant things, for example, and we react by getting angry, then our own instability of mind, of course, becomes contagious to others. In my own experience, nothing makes me angrier than when somebody is angry at me. So if somebody's angry at me, I'm just like, wow, how dare they be angry at me if it's actually their fault? And I am very quiet and chill on the outside, but mentally I'm like growling. Because these emotional attitudes are quite contagious, right? They get angry at us, I get angry at them. And whereas if somebody says something unpleasant to us and we immediately react in a harsh way, that will tend to escalate things. If we're able to absorb and accept this, then it doesn't fuel the fire anymore, right? It kind of stops with us, and we're able to keep it balanced. And I use the analogy of homeostasis, like the way your body maintains its temperature, its blood oxygen, the pH, and so forth. So many aspects of the body are maintained in a constant way, only through this amazing balance inside the body that you could call engineering, or you could call whatever you want, but we need to develop this homeostasis within our mind, a balanced state of mind, through that helping everybody around us to also find and maintain balanced states of mind. And this is how we create harmony. Now, this is how we create harmony externally by building harmony internally. When we think about meditating on special cases, the meditation that I've been doing in the evening with my wife, we've carved out a bit of time every day to do some meditation together. What I've been doing is, again, imagining my special case is the company that I'm working for, that I'm spending 8 or 10 hours a day at this company, interacting with all these people and so forth. But I don't normally meditate on my company, and maybe you've got something better to meditate on, but maybe this is quite useful because it's a way for me to begin to emotionally process what's actually going on. And you think about, for example, a company or whatever community you're interacting with, whoever you're interacting with, it's kind of like a village, right? I live in an apartment complex that is called The Village. But for the most part, none of us actually interact with each other. So it's a nice idea, great marketing, but it's not really a village. But human beings have evolved to live in villages or tribes or whatever you want to call it. What is our actual village? Our actual village is, you have to check. Maybe it's your company, maybe it's your family, maybe it is your neighbors, whoever. But who are the people that we interact with, right? And when we imagine them around us, are there any of them that we don't want to imagine around us? Like if I say, imagine yourself surrounded by those who you spend time with on a regular basis, who don't we want to bring in to that meditation? And you don't have to start there. In fact, maybe start with the people that you really want to, you also don't want to start with the people that you have a crush on, or the people that you are totally fascinated by. So you don't want your mind to be unbalanced in that direction either. So it's a funny exercise, just imagining yourself surrounded by the people that you spend time with. Obviously, the point of that is not to kindle an obsession with some particular person, but it's also not to reject or exclude anybody. And so if we think about the people that maybe we don't want to imagine that we're sitting next to, we think, the instruction I gave was imagine that they're peaceful, happy, smiling, and delighted to be engaging in a meditation alongside you. If I think about my mom and my dad, they're, the ordinary version of them, they're not, delighted to be engaging in meditation alongside me. It's not their thing, right? Or many of my coworkers. But in our meditation, we imagine that they are meditating alongside us to create a harmony, to kind of create a resonance between ourselves and that be our imagined version of that person, right? The thing about the imagined versions of the people you spend time with, they're in your mind. They're totally in your mind, right? And so theoretically, you can make them do whatever you want. You make them dance. So you're making them meditate. You're making them meditate alongside you. But you're not really forcing anybody to do anything. You're not hurting anybody, right? So it's not like, in general, you shouldn't force people to do things, but you're imagining they're meditating along with you. Certainly not hurting them or you. It would be really good for them. But the thing about these imagined people is that they're not actually truly different from the people that you're interacting with when you meet them face to face. Because when you meet that person face to face, in fact, what you're seeing is a superimposed version of whatever they are in theory, and then your concept of that person are superimposed. So we meet these people and we're like, oh, they're doing that again. You see them and we have these immediate instant reactions, pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, and So although the imagined version of these people is just imagination, it's just in our mind, the external versions of these people are also not truly separate from our imagined version. I'm not saying that they are just imagination, but they're also not separate from our imagination. They're sort of I guess maybe an easy way to think about it is like a superimposed version, superimposition of our concepts of them. And there is a very simple prayer that goes, may I be well and happy. May all beings be well and happy. Or specifically, may this person be well and happy. May Joe be well and happy. May Sarah be well and happy. And that's a nice thought, it's a good wish. But if you apply that towards the people that you really don't like, and maybe you have nobody in that category, but you will at some point, probably. If you don't now, at some point they'll happen. You'll encounter such a person. And if you apply that meditation to those people, may these people that I really don't like be well and happy. That mind is like incredibly powerful, totally counteracts our normal dislike and aversion. Now, to do this, what we need to do is we need to separate those people from their behavior and from their views. So to love a person does not imply that you love their views, that you love their behaviors, that you think that you can trust them, for example. Early on, I thought, okay, if I'm really going to love everybody, that means I should trust them. So if somebody is obvious, seems like they're lying, I should just go along with them. That's not what this is about. And so just like when you pass light, sorry for the vibration here, just like when you pass light through a prism, it separates into all the different parts of the spectrum. So instead of just thinking about me and them, right, as like a one monolithic thing, we think there is no me, there is no them. There is this idea of me and the idea of them, but at the root, it's just a collection of many, many, many views, many, many, many behaviors, many, many wishes, feelings, goals, not all of which are healthy. Not all of our own views are healthy, not all of others' views are healthy. But we separate the person, the core of the person, from all of those other characteristics, and we love the person and imagine them being isolated from, separated from any unhelpful views, unhelpful feelings, unhelpful behaviors that they might have. In that way, you are profoundly changing who that person is in your mind, but also you're profoundly changing who they are even when you meet them. As you get familiar with this, you'll come to meet a different person than you instinctively initially met, right? So why don't we hopefully that makes sense. So why don't we take a bit of time just to practice this meditation, just to let this settle in a bit. And so again, we can find a comfortable position for meditation. Try to sit with our back straight, which means flattening some of those curves in our lower back, in our chest, in our neck. Just flattening some of those curves in our spine relatively straight. Taking a deep breath in and out to reset. Then again, just imagining ourselves surrounded by all of the people are, that we who are close to us in this life. Our parents, friends, family, those we spend time with. And if you're comfortable with this, we imagine also the people that you really don't want, that you really don't like, that you don't want to spend time with. But we remember that analogy of light passing through a prism. And we imagine separating even the people we find unpleasant, separating them from their views, their wishes, their behaviors. We just think at core, these people are no different from me. We all deeply want a sense of connection with others. We deeply want to be happy, free from pain, fear. When we think about these people, we just think, may they be well and happy. Normally have strong judgments about the people around us. Tendency to accept or reject. We feel a sense of closeness, just thinking we are all stuck together for one reason or another. May they all be well and happy. May I be well and happy. with each breath, imagining, may I be well and happy. May all of these people, including those I tend to not like, may they be well and happy. Remember this advice to always meditate on special cases. We can take people with whom we have a particular problem, for example, dislike, and take them as a special object of meditation, gradually building our strength of mind, our ability to wish them well. By changing the people that exist within our mind, we are changing the way we experience and relate to outer people, the people we encounter directly. And through that, we're actually changing our society, our communities. Through this, we can actually build harmony. can conclude with a wish, imagining that through the force of these small behaviors today, we feel that we are strengthening these channels or pathways in our mind and creating the potential to completely transform our way of interacting with others and completely transform our world, our communities. We just spend a moment reflecting on the power of small actions. We can open our eyes and rise from our meditation.